Hello everybody, and thank you for coming to another story time today. Today I am outside reading story time because I'm also doing something else today. I am taking part in the annual Audubon Christmas bird count. So it is the 124th year of the Christmas bird count. Some people are out walking all over in parks and different trails and looking for birds, organized into groups. Some people are watching birds from their home, which is what I'm doing today. So I'm doing what's called a feeder count. So I have lots of, you can't really see them, bird feeders behind me, and I'm going to sit here today and count the birds that come to my feeders. Everybody out counting birds today. We all submit our count data, the number and types of birds we saw, and that information can be used by scientists all over the world. It helps get kind of a pulse on what our bird populations are doing in the winter, who's here, how many we have, and that sort of thing. So today, in honor of the Christmas bird count, our book is called Birds in Your Backyard, and some of the birds in my backyard might be in this story, and throughout our story you might be able to hear some of the birds in my backyard singing. So this book was written and illustrated by Barbara Herkert. How many of you have ever gone bird watching before? Maybe you had binoculars, maybe you didn't, maybe you were just looking with your eyes. Do you know that we share the earth with about 10,000 different kinds of birds? About 800 different kinds live here in North America. Some of these birds live right outside your back door. Come on, let's take a look and see what's out there. Do you recognize any of these birds? Looks like we have a hairy woodpecker, some robins, a varied thrush. Thrush are related to robins. Looks like maybe a Steller's jay. Oh, some hummingbirds. What kind of birds do you see outside your house? Do you know the names of the birds in this picture? You can find them in the back of the book. Take a look at them. Watching birds can be easy and lots of fun. You can do a few simple things to make your backyard more fun and attractive to birds. Be patient, and you may soon see them eating, singing, bathing, nesting, preening, and playing. If you look through binoculars, you can see them as if you are up close, like this northern flicker that has made a home by digging into a dead tree with its sharp beak. So sometimes birds are small and far away, but binoculars, right, lets us look at them up close, magnifies them. What are the names of the other birds in this picture? Ooh. Let's see, how can we see in here? This side, maybe. Looks like we have more robins on the ground, some of them eating worms. Maybe some sparrows. A chickadee at the feeder, another chickadee flying. Ooh, I've seen these in my yard today too. A nuthatch. They're one of the few birds that will walk down trees like this. So they might walk up, they might walk down, side to side. They kind of move all over, but they go head first down trees, which is a little bit unusual in the bird world. Birds need to feel comfortable and safe. Some kinds of birds need shrubs or trees where they can escape from danger, or tall grass where they can hide. These places are where they build their nests and raise their young. In a city or a suburb, even a single tree or bush can be the perfect hiding place for birds like this European starling. Our European starlings are an invasive species that kind of sometimes end up hurting some of our other species. Birds need water for drinking and bathing. A bird bath will invite lots of birds to your yard. You can make your own bird bath with a pie pan or a shallow dish. Dig a hole for your pie pan or put it on a flat surface. Put small rocks or sand at the bottom of the pan to hold it in place and to provide firm footing for the birds. Fill your tiny pond with water. They may come soon after you leave. Make sure to clean and refill your bird bath often with fresh water, rocks, and sand. Birds take baths in other places too, like garden sprinklers, ponds, puddles, and even leaves covered with rain or dew. So she has just a little pie tin here that she's using for a bird bath. Really easy to make one at home, but it is important to keep it clean. We don't want to make the birds sick. And it's also a really good place for mosquitoes to breed if we don't clean it out and keep fresh water in there. Hummingbirds, like this male ruby-throated hummingbird, and his mate can fly forward, backward, sideways, straight up, or straight down. Their wings beat so fast, they make a humming sound. All you can see is a blur. Birds may eat as much as half their weight in food every day. If you weigh 50 pounds, that would be like eating 25 boxes of cereal every day. Almost all birds eat insects. Many birds eat berries, nuts, and seeds. Some drink nectar from flowers. Others eat earthworms or snails, and some birds hunt for fish, mice, or even other birds. The best way to feed them is to plant trees, bushes, and wildflowers that supply food. In the border on page 35 are some pictures of plants that birds especially like. We'll get there at the end. In the winter, when food is harder to find, it's fun to give them seeds, suet, peanuts, raisins, or orange halves. Ask grown-ups to help you fill the bird feeder. Soon birds like these house sparrows and a black-capped chickadee will be flocking outside your door. So you see a chickadee. This is a male house sparrow and a female house sparrow. Let's make cake for your hungry backyard friends. Here's what you will need. 1 cup of bird food. This could be seeds, nuts, raisins, oats, or cornmeal. 1/2 cup of fat, which could be melted lard, suet, or vegetable shortening, and you should be able to find those things in your local grocery store. 1/2 cup of chunky peanut butter. And I've learned that we want to be really careful that our peanut butter doesn't have a lot of extra sugars or salt in it. The more natural, the better for the birds. Ask your grown-up to warm the fat until it melts. Pour the melted fat into a mixing bowl and add the bird food and peanut butter. Mix thoroughly. Wait for the mixture to cool. Then you can smear it into the cracks of trees or pack it into holes in tree trunks. Another fun way to share this treat is to spoon it onto a pine cone and hang the pine cone from a string, or fill hollowed out orange halves and set them outside. The birds will gobble their dessert. It's a nice treat for our birds. Now that the birds are flocking to your backyard, how should you go about watching them? Find a quiet, hidden place where you can see them. Keep a pair of binoculars in your watching spot and practice focusing them. In cold weather, this might be by a window in your house. Remember to keep your voice low and move slowly, even if you're indoors. You can start a bird journal with a small notebook and some colored pencils. Make a list of every kind of bird you see. It's fun to learn their names. Most of the common kinds of birds are shown in the back of this book. We'll take a look. Notice each bird's shape, color, the way it flies. Then draw it or write about it. Listen carefully to their calls. Do they sound like words? Write down what you hear. It's also good to write down the date and time you saw them. This is what naturalists do. A naturalist is an explorer of nature, and that's you. Remember, naturalists are always respectful of nature. We share this backyard home together. Try not to disturb what you watch. Never touch the eggs you find in a nest. Leave baby birds and nesting parents alone. Learn about nature and how to live in harmony with it. Naturalists, like you, are always seeing or hearing something new, like this pine siskin. This is what I'm doing today, watching my feeders. What kinds of birds will you see in your backyard? If you have grassy lawn or garden, you are likely to see American robins looking for worms. The female on the ground tilts her head to the side to see better with one eye. They also have very good hearing, and they can hear worms moving under the ground. A hungry young robin on top of its post is begging for food from his father. The father is trying to teach the youngster to find food on his own. In addition to worms, robins eat insects and berries. In places where it gets cold in the winter, robins travel south to warmer weather. Cheer up, cheerily, they sing. A mother robin lays 3 or 4 bright blue eggs in the spring. How many of you have ever found a robin's nest before and looked in at those bright blue eggs? Northern cardinals often visit bird feeders. So it's too cold for robins in my yard right now, but I do have cardinals visiting my feeders today. Their favorite food is sunflower seeds, but they feed insects to their young. Cardinals build their nests in shrubs or bushes, and the female lays 3 or 4 pale green eggs at a time. The males are bright red. So a male and a female. Cheer, 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 they call. The northern cardinal is the official bird of more states than any other bird. Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, Ohio, Virginia, and West Virginia. What is the official bird where you live? Does anybody know Minnesota's state bird? It swims and it dives and makes a lot of noise in the summer that we all like to listen to. It's the common loon. In Wisconsin, our state bird we just met on the last page is the American robin. Not long ago, eastern bluebirds were in trouble. Other birds, such as European starlings and house sparrows, would take over their nesting holes and damage their eggs. People started building nest boxes just the right size and shape for bluebirds, and now you may see bluebirds once again. Like this female at the entrance and the male on top. So that's backwards. This is the male, bright blue, female, a little duller in color. Cheer up, they sing. Bluebirds, like many other birds, make seasonal trips called migrations. In late autumn, migrating birds travel thousands of miles south in search of warmer climates and abundant food, and return to more northern climates in the spring. The eastern bluebird, which is what we have here, has cousins in the west called the western mountain bluebird. The eastern bluebird has cousins in the west, the western bluebird and the mountain bluebird. Ooh, I've seen some of these today. American goldfinches like to travel in large flocks, flying together in wave-like swirl of yellow. In the winter, males and females look pretty much the same, but in the summer, the males dress up. They replace their dull coats with bright yellow coat of feathers and a snappy black cap. So you can see. He's got a little bit of black on the top of his head and bright yellow. They call potato chips as they fly. Ooh, I've seen this one today too. You may see downy woodpeckers at your bird feeder or munching down the bird cake you made, but mostly they eat insects they find on trees. Here the male is pecking holes in the tree to find bugs inside. They also hollow out big holes in rotting trees to make a nest. Listen for the quick drumming sound that they make. Many other kinds of birds may visit your backyard, and the next few pages are the ones you're most likely to find. Which ones do you see outside your back door? So take a look in your backyard. This is common birds of eastern North America, so where we are, and there's some great information in here about a variety of different birds. So some ones that you might see in your yard, we talked about the American robin, the American goldfinch, which I've definitely seen out here today, the American crow, white-throated sparrows sometimes come to the feeders. I haven't seen one today. White-breasted nuthatches, I have seen today. Tufted titmouse, I haven't seen today, but I'm waiting for it to show up because it's been around this week. Song sparrows, ruby-throated hummingbirds, red-winged blackbirds, all are not here right now. Red-breasted nuthatches I've seen today. Purple finch I haven't seen, but I know it's around. Pine siskins, northern flickers, northern cardinals, mourning doves, house sparrows, house finches, hairy woodpecker, evening grosbeak, European starling, the eastern towhee, downy woodpecker, dark-eyed juncos I have seen today, common grackles, Carolina wren, Carolina chickadee, brown-headed cowbird, blue jays and black-capped chickadees have been around today, and the American tree sparrow. They also have for western birds, which we don't really get a lot of here. They have each state's official bird listed on here. And then some resources in the back about building birdhouses and other resources to check out. And I will put some activities and resources down below about counting birds in winter or identifying birds in winter and how to get started with that. And also some information on the Christmas bird count if that is something you think you might want to get involved with. Whether that's this year or next year. Counts do, in some places, go through January 5th. So there is still time to get involved, potentially in your area. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you again soon for another story time. Bye-bye.